morning, Saunders. Great to be here. It's good seeing you again.
Good seeing you. We're coming down the home stretch of Christmas week, and this, for the first time since we've been talking since the beginning of the year, absolutely every week, we only in Sarasota had 275 closings in the last 7 days.
Wow, that's still amazing. 275 closings.
Yes, and of which 177 were single-family homes. The high sales price was 6713 Casey Key Road, and it was a non-MLS agent. In other words, they only put in sale data, and it was 25,000 square foot home, and it sold at $1,300 a square foot.
Wow.
Casey Key, you get the intercoastal, and you have the beach mansion. The neat thing about you and I know, that's a nice drive through Casey Key and south to NOKOMIS Beach, especially on a Wednesday night when they have the NOKOMIS Beach drum circle.
Yeah, it's a beautiful drive, and I've always loved that drive. Very picturesque, going through. That's a very expensive zip code. So what did that property sell for?
It sold for, you know what's really funny right now? Not funny, haha, but also I wrote down was that it was 25,000 square feet and that it sold for $1,300 a square feet. So if you want to do the math, right? And the low price in Sarasota County was $4705 Pan American Boulevard for $100,000. They're still out there, folks. And the second high price has amazing pictures, so that's what everyone, I don't necessarily want to show the camera phone picture that they put on there for the sale data only for the Casey Key sale. I might flash it up there real quick, but it doesn't really show what we do as a realtor. But that also tells us about Casey Key and our islands here. 35 miles of beach, we have more linear miles of golf courses than we do coastline.
Right.
And that means we just want to know if you want boating or beach access, because everything else comes with the parade, doesn't it? You have golfing, you have Major League Baseball, you have walking, jogging, biking. And so I think that's why we have word of mouth sales at that level. Realtors from around the world, our MLS also encompasses Puerto Rico. So anybody who knows waterfront and knows our area is going to be really happy about the easy access. And another home right up at 1575 Pay Point Drive sold for $3.7 million. And that was $1,100 a square foot. So the top sale, $1,300 a square foot, second, $1,100 a square foot. Ironically, that hotel-sized home, the last hotel-sized homes that sold in the last couple of weeks out on Longboat Key, they were $1,100 a square feet. So this kind of edges it out per square foot price, doesn't it?
It does, and that comes in at $32.5 million. $32.5 million is the sales price on that Casey.
If I have my numbers right, maybe that's a total square footage, including garage, and because something tells me I might have total square footage and not under air square footage. So
it's still pretty amazing. When you talk about Casey Key, Stephen King has been rumored to live there at one point. Oprah had a home there. John Gotti from the Mafia, supposedly back in the day, had a home. This is when Sarasota wasn't as big. But if you look at the people, it's been a playground for the rich and wealthy for a long time. Geraldo Rivera, to name a few celebrities, that are, here you see walking around.
Oh my goodness, right? There's so many. And usually my only indication that there's one of them running around, they got the ball cap down. Really?
Yes.
You're the only one with your ball cap down to here. And the rest of, now we're looking at you like, why are you being so weird? Like if they had just walked around like you and I, we probably wouldn't even think, take a second glance, put your sunglasses on, because our full-time job is to enjoy the beach and the boating, isn't it?
Well, it really is. But look at what you've talked about since this whole year. The luxury market is booming in Florida in general, and Miami's breaking records. Now in Sarasota, we're breaking records. Like you said, $1,100 a square foot. Now this edged it out at $1,300 a square foot for beachfront and bayfront and everything that has to offer. So people are moving here. They're fleeing Illinois. I see it every day. New York, you're benefiting from all the exodus in California. Between the corporations moving to Florida and the people, it's a great time to be a Floridian. It's a great time to buy real estate.
It is, and thank you so much for saying that, because you and I are having personal conversations with the people that we serve who are just saying that point blank to us. We're selling and we're getting to Florida. We like how your state is run, and they're not even necessarily coming here because they have jobs here, but they also can work from here because everyone's working from home, aren't they?
Well, that's been the biggest thing, working remotely and being a mortgage professional. That's okay. As long as you can get a letter from your employer that you're allowed to work remote, then we can count that as income. So with people working from home, a lot of them want to come here and enjoy, like you said, boating, golfing, outdoors, recreation. But then also we have lower taxes than a lot of states in the union, so there's just so many reasons why you want to come here. And really the real estate, if you look at it, you talk about the real numbers all the time. And I think you'll tell them today, but at 289,000 to 300,000, we're still very, very affordable as well, right? So it's not, we talk about the mega mansions and the luxury market, but for everyday mom and pop, it's still a great time to invest in Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton, I think, right?
Absolutely. And it's been a long time since I was in New York City, and I have been quoted in the New York Times when I'm up there for speaker events, because I give them the real data. And you and I both know that I've been like that my whole career, but it's always been them anywhere in the world, helping them know that as a benchmark, whatever group you're looking to hang out with, we have them here. They're just not making it a big show of it. But we have every group from around the world that's appreciating our beachfront, our boating, and of course you're working with them because of helping them take advantage of the really amazing interest rates we have. You and I have never spoken before about the letter that you have from your employer about working from home. Tell me a little bit more about that, because we don't have any time on video where we've explained that part of the mortgage process.
So, obviously, when you buy a property, you're doing it either as a primary home, you're doing it as a secondary home, or you're doing it as an investment. Those are the three ways you take property, residency for property. And usually a primary home has to be close to work. So if you're still working, for example, your company T-Mobile's in San Francisco, right? It would be hard to say that Sarasota, Florida is going to be your primary home because you can't commute that far, right? Even going from Jacksonville to Miami, that's a commute. So primary homes get the best interest rate, more favorable terms. So getting a work from a remote letter that we're talking about, it just allows the lender to allow you to say this is going to be a primary home. So because some people say, yeah, I'm going to work remotely, and that's fine, but we do have to get a letter from the employer. And all employers will give that letter, Sandra, if you ask them for it. And if it's legit, you really can work remote, they don't have any problem giving that letter.
Thank you for saying that, including saying that the employer has no problem giving you that letter. Now, I'm going to shift gears just for a moment, because this week you and I are on the phone with direct sales so often that we hear questions and we know we have to address it. This week more than ever in national news, and I guess local news, they're talking about all the foreclosures that are going to happen. You and I addressed that months and months and months ago, when the forgiveness, the CARES Act shifted into gears, and I gave a video presentation, a snapshot of us monitoring that. Foreclosure is a normal part of every marketplace, about 1% of the homes. And in Sarasota and Manatee County, what do you see, or what do you say to your clients who are like, oh my God, maybe I should wait because there's going to be all these foreclosures?
Well, the opportunity cost to borrow money has never been lower. And what I mean is the interest rates are so low, okay, and the inventory, isn't really there. So it's driving prices up. So my answer, because I've been doing this 26 years, I know it may sound good in theory to wait. However, two things usually happen in real estate. The rates usually go higher and the prices go higher. And we talk all the time in the real numbers, the Sarasota Bradenton, even at 5.7 to 6% appreciation, still makes the home more expensive. And I just saw a national average. I heard on the way driving in, homes were up nationally 11% year to date. That's a pretty big statistic. So I say don't wait for those foreclosures, but rather maybe reach out to you. You're always talking about you have a program that you reach out to sellers that are thinking about selling the home, and you have cash offers that you can bring to the market for those sellers. So I think a lot of people, Sandra, and you can speak to this, there's equity in these homes, right? So if the owners don't panic and they reach out to a professional like you, you're going to list those homes on the market for fair market value. In other words, I can't see the foreclosures coming the way people think they are. But of course, I'm not the expert. I think there will be some, but there's equity in a lot of these homes.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out, because that gives that seller who is right on the cusp of not being able to keep their home for whatever reason. And this is a judgment-free zone. We're all about fair housing. We're all about helping people. So if you are on the cusp of that not being a realistic thing that you see in the next 12 months of keeping up or repaying or making your mortgage payments current, go to thecashmove.com and we will submit it, no hassle, no stress, no showings, no fixing, and flexible closing date. But most importantly, in a company like myself that's affiliated with, that's already cloud-based, we bring that solution to everyone throughout the United States. So in bringing those solutions, there's no convenience fees like some of the companies are advertising about, but it gives everyone a chance to not go through that process. You and I experienced that during the real estate bubble, and you don't have to go through it. You've got equity. Let's make some decisions. We'll execute at the level and the pace that you want to go. And because we have jobs in this area, there's going to be people who want to buy. And including in Manatee County, last 7 days, we had 182 sales, 112 which were single family homes. And Dave, you've been around a long time. The low price was sold in Braden Castle Park. Do you remember Braden Castle Park?
Yeah, I do. I think I sold a home back there many years ago, early in my career. How much was that home?
Oh, by the way, early in your career. Now, this is my favorite. I'm binge watching NCIS right now. I don't know why. That solving the problem takes my mind off of everything in real estate. And their episodes go way back, but when you're binge watching any kind of shows, like on CBS, you have to deal with that same advertisement every 10 minutes.
Right.
Have you, and I don't know whatever anybody's going through right now, but the hello, yellow. Hello, yellow. And I almost have her song down. Her words make no sense. It's like listening to Dr. Seuss. However, I am captivated by the fact that ad looks exactly like Braden Castle. I don't know, they could have filmed it at Braden Castle.
Right.
Because Braden Castle, that cute little neighborhood, is right on the water. They're original tiny homes, 800 square feet. And they don't come up for sale very often because they're so amazing and such a cool golf course neighborhood that people just leave it to their heirs. That's why they don't come up very often. They're a real find on the water. And it's just like those cute little homes in that advertising. If anybody wants to see the Yellowtail wine commercial, hello, yellow. Well, the cute little blue house, the cute little yellow house is exactly Braden Castle, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
Well, if you don't remember what you sold it for back in the day, it could have been $20,000 because this area is just going like hotcakes. This low sale price in Manatee County was $137,000 for 800 square feet.
Yeah, mine was, I want to say in the 40s.
Okay.
It was a long time ago, right?
And it's all relative, right? The cost
Yes.
of living was different, the amenity-rich opportunities in the area were different. That is right in an area where now they have barges that go around and sell you bait.
Right.
And those barges are launching, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those barges are launching from that particular area in Cortez. And I think they also have a barge that's moving around that has like a slide and a little place for your kids to play on, doesn't it? Don't we?
I haven't seen that one. I have not seen that one, but I need to get out more.
Okay, maybe I'm imagining it because I do have to live vicariously sometimes. But I see pictures and I'm like, I think that might be in Sarasota. But when I've been out fishing, usually if we don't catch anything at first thing in the morning in our own nets, we go look for that person, that barge person that's selling bait to all of us, and they've already caught everything. So back to this little Braden Castle area, we have all these fishing villages on the intercoastal, more than 35 miles of fishing villages, boating access, and then you get onto the Keys, and then the equal number of beaches. So the high price that got sold was $4.2 million and 907 North Shore in Anna Maria. And it was a vacation rental.
Oh, wow.
Now, the movie rendering and all the other stuff and what you just said, probably not any gangsters like John Gotti were renting that because it was hurricane above and full view, amazing property. And they brought in, it advertised as bringing in $300,000 in income.
Wow, that's a nice sum pro forma.
Right? That's a nice sum, but on a $4 million home, if you got $4 million sitting around, you really are letting that land value catch up to the value of the property. You're not looking at it as like, oh, I'm going to make a lot of money. However, $300,000 does pay the taxes and the upkeep, doesn't it?
It sure does. It sure does.
And that is our sweet spot when we're working with investors that they ask us. And I know that the financial planners and lawyers that I work with, a lot of them were asking me point blank what that sweet spot is. Well, if you want appreciation, you're going to have to be on the beach. That outpaces everything, period, paragraph. Like that KC Key home, beach and intercoastal. Now you're ramping it up with now extra water access. And that's why that was $1,300 a square foot. But for somebody who's saying, no, I want the rental income to carry that. If it's a beach property, we're going to have to be in that sweet spot between 2 and 3 because the amenities and the insurance that the community has to carry because of it being an island. It's a flood zone, period, paragraph. Not a big deal. We manage it all the time. Dave and I are always going to try to point you to the island properties that don't have a horrible surge issue where our new utilities on these keys have created an avenue to get and move that massive amount of water as it comes in with the tropical storm. So we will talk about this. Is a fabulous property, but the cars that are left in the parking lot, you're going to have to wait for your battery to dry out because that surge just comes in and then it could be 8 hours of tropical rain and then it goes out. And a lot of people who are buying those, when Dave and I are talking to you, we're going to disclose that. The owners here just wait for the car battery to dry out. And I don't know how many cycles you can go through that before that's really damaging to your car. I'm just reflecting back to you what living on an island gives you. Siesta Key is the #1 beach for families in the world. So with that level of advertising going out there, Siesta Key is still super vibrant no matter what. And if you stay in those price points, we're going to be able to show you with the taxes that you pay and what you have to pay for those amenities and then keep it up. You got to add new towels. That's going to allow you to carry it and enjoy that property. Do you have any other? And we do have some on-site management out there that turns that property into a hotel. Dave, do you want to explain why that's hard to underwrite for a mortgage broker when it's classified as a hotel?
That's a great segue. So that's considered what we call a non-conforming condominium. And what non-conforming means is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, who buys all these mortgages on the secondary market, they render that as a condominium hotel. So what that means is we can't give you today's interest rate, 2.625, because we can't do a loan there, right? So we always do what they call a condo questionnaire to determine what's going on. But the #1 red flag, Sandra said, is if it has an on-site management and they're renting it by the day or the week, usually we can't do a mortgage in there conventionally. So what that means is you can get one, but you're going to have to put about 50% down, so half down, and then the rate's going to be about 6%, 6.5%, as opposed to 2.625%. But if it's an investment, like Sandra's saying, and it carries itself, and you look at the pro forma, and it pays for itself, and you get the appreciation and the amenities and the #1 beach in the world, it's good. You just have to know the facts going in before you make the offer, and that's what Sandra and I do. And we help vet these condominiums. We know the condominiums that you're looking at. So rather than waste a lot of time and money, we help you up front make good, sound decisions so you don't waste any money up front on appraisals and inspections and things like that. And I bring that up, Sandra, because a lot of people pay anywhere from $500 to $700 for an appraisal. They pay for a home inspection anywhere from $300 to $400, maybe more. And then they find out 3 weeks later that they can't get a conventional loan in that condo project. Maybe they wouldn't have made that offer if they didn't know the facts up front. So that's
right. The cost of money has to be calculated into the strategy that you'll be happy about the day of closing and moving forward, doesn't it?
It really does. It really does. And I've had people that buy them, and a lot of people are paying cash coming to our area, and they don't mind that you can't get a mortgage in there. But then we always tell them, well, just know when you go to sell the property, you're going to have a limited pool of buyers, right? Because if you can't open it up to everybody, then only a select buyer is going to be looking at that. But I think birds of a feather flock together. So most people looking at those properties, they're always going to have demand.
Good job for stating that. I couldn't even add anything to that except for everyone's going to want to talk to you when they get pre-approved and pre-qualified for this area. What's the best way to get a hold of you, Dave?
Best way is area code 941-724-7653, 941-724-7653. Call or text anytime.
That's awesome. I appreciate you today. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas.
Look, we're both wearing blue today. We didn't even have a pre-call. We both wore blue without even knowing it.
Yes, good job.
All right, have an amazing day.